Welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything in between in the wide world of Warhammer. We've got a number of exciting things to talk about today, and I am always, as always, joined by my amazing co-host, Mr. Zach Pfeiffer. How are you doing today, Zach?
Awesome. I'm doing great. Just back from SoCal along with Adrian. John was there as well. We're excited to talk about it. I'm very excited to talk about SoCal. I had a great time.
It was an amazing weekend. Super fast, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just down the road for us, an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
But it was a ton of fun. Played some Sigmar, played some 40K, met a lot of good people, had a great time. And so, of course, this is going to be one of our big topics for today. But of course, if you guys want to catch all this content in the future, we have lots of shows coming out right now. Of course, do consider subscribing. Costs you nothing. Just click that button right down below, and you can keep up to date with everything that's going on. So, of course, the things we're going to discuss today, the SoCal Open, the fact that Orks won, we're going to talk about what happened with Sigmar, we're going to talk about just kind of where the games and the community is in general, and maybe talk about some fun escapades and things like that while we were in San Diego.
There were some escapades.
100%. Also, of course, we're going to be discussing, I guess not of course, but this is a question that's been coming up more and more often, is do you guys prefer having a new unit or updated classics? Of course, we have an image here of Rogel Dorn, so we'll be discussing, and we're just kind of curious what people's general preferences on those kinds of things. And then, of course, last but not least, we're going to be talking about, for our Grognard Grumble, the concept of display boards for paint and best paint in competitions. Of course, we just came out of SoCal, a lot of amazing armies, and I think there's lots to be discussed as far as that kind of stuff.
That last topic, very near and dear to my heart. Exactly. You and I have talked about it a lot. You mean Kat have talked about it a lot, so I'm excited to chat that.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, let's dive on in and have a good talk. All right, so of course the first topic of the day, kind of the main topic is the SoCal Open. For those of you who aren't familiar, the SoCal Open takes place in San Diego in California. It's one of Frontline Gaming's events, and it is kind of it's literally the only one in SoCal. Everything started up here, the NorCal, the Bay Area Open, and then they created another one down there, and of course it's expanded. There's Vegas, there's a million other events, and I think they have some big announcements soon. So this event had 40K, it had Sigmar, it had, last year it had Marvel Crisis Protocol, but I don't know that I actually saw that this year.
Over by me, over by the Sigmar crowd, you guys were like 2/3 of the building.
Yeah.
And then we were like 1/3. Right. And then the remaining 1%.
Yeah.
It was not quite that, but
it
had some Legion. It had,
I saw that.
It did have some Legion. I think I even saw maybe some Middle Earth. Mm-hmm. I think there's Marvel Crisis Protocol. Also remember that weirdly there were things going on Friday.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a narrative.
There was a whole narrative event.
And I think somebody said something about that was some other game, something else was going on that day too.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is a very good point. I saw a little bit less of these other games than I had in previous years, but it might have had to do with that because normally we would have all been there on Friday.
Yeah. SoCal's an interesting event. It holds a little bit of a special place in my heart because it was the first event I went to as a Titan.
Yeah.
The one last year, and also really that was the first event we went to almost as a studio because COVID.
Exactly.
Because of COVID, right? And so we went last year, and it was I had previously gone to Vegas, and I was a little shocked at how there weren't a lot of vendors or anything like that. But I was like, well, I guess it's COVID, but. That's actually just sort of the nature of this event.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like a giant hangar for a 2-day RTT.
Right, yeah.
That's sort of how I think about it.
It really is. So it takes place at the racetrack in Del Mar, and it's in this giant, hangar kind of, what's the word? Almost, not con, but whatever. They bring, cattle and stuff in there. There's a word. I'm spacing on
fair.
it. Yeah. It's more like a fairground space.
It is a fair.
Exactly what it is.
It is where I think the San Diego County Fair as hell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it's very spacious, but it's not really vendor heavy. Mostly you're there to play games and have a good time.
I think if you're going for that Vegas experience, or I mean even Nova, not even Nova, but Nova or any of those, it's not that. You're not going to see all the people with their dice for sale and the different board games for sale.
Yeah,
and
I know.
You're not going to see any of that. It is people are there to play war games. The only people selling anything is Frontline Gaming, I think.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Running the event.
Yeah. So it's not a. It's not a. It doesn't have that like immersive con feel.
Sure, yeah.
But it does have its own kind of special feel of just being like, hey, like it's just a giant RTT.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of how it feels to me.
It is kind of more relaxed, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. I think before we get into, do we want to talk about the winner, or do we want to talk about our journeys?
Let's talk about the winner.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. That's we put it on the thumbnail. We'll be it would be unfair if we were like first you got to hear about the shrimp I had.
I love it. It's kind of torturous, right? Let's dive on in, of course. So the winner of SoCal this year was, of course, Ben Jurek, famous for playing his orcs, and won with orcs, playing Goths, which was super cool. And so he was one of just a few undefeated players, and he just absolutely smashed the points.
Now, can I ask how many people were in the 40K event?
It was 180, 170, I think. It was a bit bigger than BAO, which was smaller than this, funny enough. And so, with the 6 rounds, there's going to be like 3 undefeateds, and Ben basically went into the last round in the top, and then scored 100 points. And so,
which is great.
It was almost like impossible for anyone to reach him at that point. So I guess before we discuss that more, let's take a look at the list itself. Hold on, phone.
There it is.
Hey, oh, there it is. Lovely. So this is Ben's list. It's very classic Goths, right? So with Goths, you're getting exploding 6s, you're getting +1 strength, and this has a number of cool things. This list doesn't have all the extra like war gear and details and stuff like that. That we'll leave for Nice Boys Mean lists to discuss in further detail.
Right.
But it does have the War Boss and War Bike. It's got the Weird Boy with the jump and all that good stuff. A couple units of Beast Nagas, 3 units of Grots, 3 units of Commandos. 2 of them are 10-man, so they have all the special fixins there. And 2x3 of the Squighog Boys, a Battle Wagon, 2 Kill Rigs, and of course, Mr. Gaz himself. And look, it just plays good Warhammer.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... It looks pretty subtle.
It is.
Quite honestly.
It's not like spammy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You're not like, whoa, there's like, even if they were good, I know they're not amazing, but it's not like, whoa, there's 3 bombers or 3 Dakka jets or 3 like units of kill rigs or something like that.
Exactly.
Well, there's 2 kill rigs, but...
Yeah. I mean, it's not the 3. There's a lot of subtlety.
Right, exactly.
The Grots, of course, super important for get the good bits and scoring, and the Battle Wagon can help with that. 2 kill rigs and a Weird Boy means he has access to things like Warp Ritual, and just a lot of scoring, and New Wa is great. But I will say, this list was played with a lot of skill, and I think there were like some really, really close games.
Yeah, it looks like it would be really fun to play against. It looks like it would be close games.
It would be.
Because everything he's using is going to die.
Exactly.
Like, all of this stuff is insanely killable.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything is going to trade. Except for Grots, they're not going to trade at all. They're just going to die. Or hide.
They're going to score points and then die.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to get your 15 good bits points, and this list will get tabled and it'll win.
Gaz and the Battle Wagon, like maybe they stick around, but not even really the Battle Wagon.
Gaz is the one I'm most curious to see how Ben plays it in the current meta. I'm going to go back and watch some of the streams to kind of see how that holds up. But being phase locked is pretty amazing, especially against some of the powerhouses out there right now.
Yeah, he's three per phase, just like standard.
It's 4 wounds per phase, so you can kill him in 3 phases.
It's 4 per phase? That's interesting.
For him. Well, because he's 12 wounds.
Yeah.
So it's 4 per phase, meaning you need 3 phases. So I think that's the way they did the math here.
Yeah. Okay.
But the Catan being 3 for the whatever.
Right.
So look, that's the winning list. Again, I'm sure we'll discuss this more at length later on. But honestly, just a really cool showing from Orks, It's awesome.
As somebody who's playing a lot of Sigmar and not playing a lot of 40K right now, but I'm really excited to see this list won because, again, it looks like, people are really like, oh, Votan, oh, all this stuff is scary right now, all these things. Nobody has really said anything about this.
Yeah.
Nobody has said, wow, this looks super scary, and this is going to kill me, and I don't want to play against this, and Orks are busted, Orks are broken, and he just came in and won. And this looks like something I want to play at a fault line night or a local game club. I just want somebody would bring this and it would be like a cool game.
100%. And it is worth mentioning without getting too off topic, but the Tau game that he played on stream against Anthony, who I played last year, super cool guy.
Yeah.
He brought a Tau list that was like a code, and he told me when he was like, oh, I just wanted to bring something that would fit in like a codex cover. And then I talked to him before the event started. Ended up obviously doing well because he played Ben on stream.
Yeah.
It had like Fire Warriors. It was a very like balanced list. Like looked very narrative. And it was cool. These two lists actually duked it out. And obviously it's a spoiler
awesome.
that Ben won, but it was a 1-point game.
Wow. Yeah. It's funny because
cool.
real quick, by the way, a big thanks to Liam. We know this guy.
Hey, what's up, Liam?
For gifting 5 memberships.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome for these folks who had a Liam gifted membership. There's a lot of people gifting memberships.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say one is more special than another, but you got a Liam gifted membership. That's cool.
You're a Liam legend now.
Is that what they're called?
I think that's yeah.
Okay.
Liam's absolute legends.
But as somebody looking at, we talked a lot about the competitive 40K scene last week.
Totally.
And as somebody kind of looking in and saying, I hope the game is still healthy. I hope it's good. It feels like the parts are there, and there are just some things on the periphery that grab the attention.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Votan. Like, oh, that's scary. And like, yeah, there's gonna be some guy. Like, if you go to get a pickup game and you don't know your opponent, it might not be great.
Yeah.
But listen, that's happening with every game.
That's true.
I mean, quite honestly, that happens in Monopoly.
You don't know about the trains?
You don't collect. If you stop right on it, you don't take $400 if you stop on go, because that's a house rule. Everybody does it, but it is a house rule. It's not in the rules. Like, you know what I mean? That's going to happen in any game.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's great to see like health like this. This is healthy. Like, and the Tau list is it's super cool.
I think overall the game is in a decently good place right now. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, with that, chat seems to be interested in this. Excited for orcs. Lots of orcs in chat. WAD chat. Meta's super good. Who said that? Got a little mod thing on it. I'm just curious. Melody. Yep. Love it.
Yeah, meta's super good. Secondaries are a little. Yeah, I agree with Mr. Wallybot. Like,
yes.
And orc secondaries are like kind of in that mid-tier category. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Bits is amazing.
I'd say mid to upper for sure. Yeah.
Where Tau are, quite frankly.
Frankly, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Makes sense.
So that's the orc list. Of course, if you guys have more questions, feel free to ask us. But also, we had a little journey of our own.
This guy.
Apparently we're starting with this one.
Yeah, no, this is a great one to start. So why is there a falcon on the screen? Well, this is very cool. We went to San Diego. Megan and I drove down Thursday, and we had kind of a San Diego day on Friday.
Yeah.
We've never really been to San Diego.
Oh,
I know you love San Diego. I do too. I have a couple complaints, and a couple. Mostly I like it, but I have a couple gripes against San Diego. I'll get to them in a second.
Here we go.
Anyway, first thing is parking garage here. We went to the Little Italy district, super cool.
Oh yeah.
We went to this awesome restaurant. There's a picture, a little bit of some of the food we had, called Ironsides. When we came back, there was this woman with this falcon in hawk actually in the parking garage.
Yeah.
And so we kind of approached and we're like, hey, what's going on? What is and cool? Can we see? And she was very cool. And basically, what she talked about was that this hawk is used by the city to scare off pigeons. And when we were in Ironsides, pigeons are walking into the restaurant.
Oh my God.
Because San Diego, the weather's great. So everything, if you're not familiar with coastal California, even the further south you get, we have some of it up here, but things are very open.
Yeah,
like your front facade of your restaurant can be almost completely open to be like 2 pillars. And so pigeons were just walking in. Anyway, we were like, does this thing just like murder and eat pigeons all day? And she's like, no, we can't actually even let him do that because the pigeons are so infested that he could get sick.
Oh my God.
And she was like, believe me, I'd love to let him just murder the pigeons all day. But he does catch one every now and then and like kill it, but they have to pull him off before he can do it.
Generally, he just scares them off?
Yeah, and he works like an 8-hour shift, just like a person. Yeah, well, mostly probably because the human has to work the 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
But yeah, she drives in to the big districts, like where there's like tourism and restaurants, and he just hangs out around the area.
So
he's got some trackers on him and stuff. He was cute. He was super nice. We didn't touch him, obviously. We didn't ask. I didn't want to. I actually don't. Doesn't look cute enough to pet, and it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's intense. That's an intense bird.
It's intense, but he was like super into us, and anytime she was doing something like with a piece of equipment, she was showing off some equipment, he was like checking it out.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
It's so funny.
It was a wild experience to get like a foot from this thing.
Right?
Yeah, really cool.
That's so random. I love it. Let's see. So we're gonna go through Zach's experience. You played in the AOS Champions.
Yes.
5 rounds, starting on Saturday, just like us.
Yeah. I had 5 amazing. Okay, hold on. I had 5 amazing opponents. I will say this is the first Sigmar event where I had a few games that were like, ooh, they were rough. And I think I took my daughters a cane. I think honestly Marathi is aging out a little bit. I actually didn't want to take her, but I took her so that I could maybe get some painted.
Yeah.
Just because she's kind of a good centerpiece.
Totally.
I think I did the best job of her and all my army, which I'm still kind of leveling up and working on, but she's probably the furthest along. Totally. And you and I were discussing the coolest thing to win is Renaissance Man, and it paid off because I did go. So I went 3-2, and I did get second place in the Renaissance person category. So I'm pretty happy about that decision. But there's a lot of things that can just like time her out pretty quick. Like she's gone by turn 3 under most circumstances. First game here, I played this guy Tad from Miscast. Miscast are actually this group out of Fresno.
Oh, cool.
They come up here for things.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see Tad and the other guys from Miscast again. Tad, so literally at Nova, I went 3-0 day 1. My first game was against this guy, super awesome player, Gavin, from Texas, and he had this Croak list. Yeah. Seraphon list, which is a really hard matchup for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because they do a bunch of mortals, and he sends a little spell out where I can't auto pass morale.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So strolled up to Tad, Realm Stone Cache, super tiny deployment zones, also really bad for me.
Yeah.
Same mission, same army.
Oh no.
His Bastillodons are swapped for Stegodons, but I got absolutely wrecked. Tad's a great player, but yeah, he absolutely wrecked me, and that. We called it after 2 turns. I thought about going home and having lunch with Megan, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Tad, super cool game. He went on to do pretty well. I think he's top 10, maybe.
Oh, dang, that's awesome.
So that was a great game. My next game was against. Let me refresh my memory. Oh yeah, Roberto. This is awesome. So this is so cool. I got 2 rematches from Old Town Throwdown in this trip. This was Roberto. I played Roberto round 1 of Old Town Throwdown. And I think I surprise beat Roberto in Old Town Throwdown. He's an amazing player. He's part of the SoCal United. And he, in Old Town Throwdown, he was in top 10. And in this, I think he was 3rd. I think he got 3rd.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'm wrong, Roberto, or anybody who went to SoCal. But he was definitely in the top 10 in both these events. I weirdly beat him, and I was shocked that I beat him in Old Town Throwdown. Yeah. He kind of tried this turn 1 thing, and it just didn't work for him. And then I was able to just like clean him up after that. This game, I did the same thing to him, tried a cute turn 1 thing. I had priority. I took first turn, tried a cute thing, didn't work out, and he cleaned me up. So another game that went really fast. I was feeling pretty down right about now. I was 0-2. I've not been 0-2 in a long time.
Oh god.
Maybe ever actually in Sigmar at a GT. So I was like, ugh. I was like, there goes 4-1, which is what I've been trying to get.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also was like, you know what? Whatever. It's fun. It's cool. Like whatever. I really just want to get points and maybe do well and paint it anyway. But it was really cool to get to play Roberto again. He's an awesome dude. He's good with his Sylvaneth.
Oh, such cool.
Sylvaneth is a scary army in some ways, but it's so easy to get wrong. I see players do so many goofy things. Every time I play Sylvaneth player, I just wait for this point in the game where they do something, and I'm like, yep, didn't need to do that.
That mistake. Yeah.
Didn't need to get your Karnath Hunters that close. Now they're gonna get turned into firewood. Like, didn't need to happen, but like there they are, and he made no mistakes in this game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, awesome. My third game.
Thanks so much, Watchers in the Dark, gifting 5 memberships, and also welcome to Captain.
Yeah, we saw that. There's actually, was there another one here? No, maybe not. Okay, thank you, Watchers in the Dark.
Really appreciate it, and honestly, really cool channel. These guys are just starting out. Go and check them out. Really cool guys, doing cool stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Watchers in the Dark, right over here on YouTube. So shout out to you guys.
My third game was against this guy, Aaron. Aaron was great. He's trying to make Pure Cities work.
Oh, brave man.
Brave man. I think he's just having fun.
Totally.
He did not do great during the tournament, but he had a lot of fun. He's a really cool guy. Oh, no. So I don't know. I absolutely enjoyed my game with him. He was playing. He had some dwarves. He had some dwarves. He had some of the crossbow guys, and they were like actually very scary. so like really loved my game with him. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I ended up winning this game, so this is my first win, and that was like, okay, cool, a win. But I do feel like Aaron's list was just like so fun that I felt kind of bad beating up on him. He did have a cron spine, so he had a little bit of bite in there. But next day, my game was against Josh. This guy's super. Actually, this is what I had for dinner that night. This was at a place called Saltwater. This was amazing. Actually, it's grouper, which is a little bit more of an East Coast fish.
Yeah.
Grouper, the shrimp in San Diego is amazing. Megan and I had shrimp multiple times.
Yeah.
It was always amazing.
Fascinating.
They gave us a couple of lobster ravioli there on the side, had a little sauce, and then it was served over like this bed of like these like, I mean, honestly, they were mashed potatoes, but I think there was something special about them. I'm a big seafood person, so I was like super into this. Fourth game, Josh. Josh is a big fan of the show, so it was very cool to get to play him. Him and I this was my grittiest game.
Yeah.
This was my best game, the closest game. He had Oops All Draconith Guard.
Oh, nice.
So he had
Savage.
Literally all Draconith Guard. Fulminators, concussors, he had the axe guys, he had the crossbow guys who were so cool. No one takes the crossbow guys. They were wrecking me.
That's awesome.
I was like, where have these guys been in the meta?
Right.
He deep strikes them and they just like do all these shots. Every hit is another hit.
Oh, what?
And and they're Ren 1, and then
That's awesome.
they're like 3/3 Ren 1. I think 3 shots each.
Yeah.
So he's like, auto attack and like getting like 10, 11 hits.
Yeah.
And then, they're still the dragons. So in combat, they still have dragons,
So
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we had a gritty game. Things both went weird for us at a few places. I failed a 5-inch charge. That's like, okay, it happens, but it was 4 on the dice for me. So like that, and it was kind of critical.
Right.
It swung in his favor then. And then it just did that thing that Sigmar games or good 40K games do this too. Good Sigmar games do this, where at the end it just kind of like it's so gritty and it's down to like these 1 or 2 little activations. Game, I won this game because we were fighting, and he's got his priest with the relictor, and I'm like, I need to kill this priest so that I can get my grand strat.
Yeah.
And also, there's some other reason I need to kill the priest. Take him off an objective or something. I charged in with my stupid little shadow stalkers, not good at combat, and they largely whiffed. But the Shroud Queen hit with all 3 hits. This guy had 1 wound left. Hit with all 3 hits. They're hitting on 2, wounding on 2. Okay, she hits with all 3. Roll 3 wounds. Get 2 1s and a 3. And he's off defense. 2 up goes back to 3 up because she's Ren 1. He's got 1 wound. I was like, this is it. And he rolls a 2. And I roll 1 damage, and he's a 6-up ward. And he rolls like a 4. He doesn't roll 6. And he dies. And the Shroud Queen just killed him. But both of us were just like, every die roll went so bad for both of us.
Yeah.
And the math then says, if every die roll goes bad for both of you, the Shroud Queen will do 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
And that's all she needs to do. And he just could not get a single die roll to go his favor. The game came down to that. It came down to Josh failing a 3-up save.
Wow. Crazy tight. I love it.
Yeah. Also, super star of this game. I had my Shroud Queen, but also the Viper. I brought the Viper. He ate just a Draconith Guard concussor.
Wow. That's pretty
Just
good.
like slain. It's just like they're slain on a roll of a 6. You roll 3 dice.
Right.
If they're near a unit, any 6, they're slain. And I actually went to a unit of 1 and rolled 2 6s. I was right by a unit of 3.
Savage.
Of 2, and I could have just cleared the unit and 1 roll the dice. And then my last game was maybe my favorite. This is Dylan. He's Sleepy Gary in the community.
What's up, Sleepy Gary?
And he's played some 40K like me. He's been playing a lot of Sigmar the past year. He's a Gargant's player. And he kind of was like, you know what, I'm just going to bring my old Gargants and just see what happens.
Right.
So he's not taking into like man crushers or anything.
Yeah, totally.
We had a super tight game. He had 3 big guys and a Cron Spine.
Oh, nice. Oh my God.
Everything that could go wrong for Dylan in this game did.
No.
About 2/3 of the things that could go wrong for me did.
Right.
But just less than that went for Dylan.
Is that why his Cron Spine's going in the trash here?
Okay, here's what happened. So he, Shadow Stalkers, he moved within 3 inches of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is amazing. Watching this unfold was surreal. he's like, okay, I need to wipe them out. They were on objective, and they more bodies than him.
Totally. Yeah.
He counts as 5. I literally put 6 on. And he goes to charge him, rolls double 1.
Yep.
He's like, oh, whatever. He's like, you know what? Actually, he was about to spend a CP, I think, but he's like, oh, Crown Spines natively reroll their charges. And he just picks the dice up right away, like almost, as he's saying all this, and rolls again. And it's just double 1 again. And like, after that happened, it was so surreal because I was like, oh, Dylan. And Dylan was like, he went into like a little form of shock.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, and then he's like, what? He's like, what just happened? Like, it like took him a second to realize he rolled a double 1 into a double 1 on a 3-inch charge.
Oh my God, that's
and
madness.
it was bonkers. From there on out, things just went weird. My bow snakes all tournament roll 20 dice, 6s are mortals, get like 1 or 2. Against Dylan, it was like 4, 5, 6. It's just crazy. It was just like, Gargants are just like, they were like picking off like 15 wounds, 15, 18 wounds a Gargant a turn.
Madness.
Just crazy.
Yeah, let's get some ones in chat for Dylan.
Yeah.
That's a pretty amazing.
It was crazy.
Sometimes it happens, you know?
It was crazy. And so I had some wonky games. They were still all fun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was a Marathi or the meta's getting a little wild right now at Sigmar. I really only had one super tight, close game, which was my second to last game against Josh.
Yeah.
But an awesome time. It was a lot of fun, and the person who won the event was Ramon Silva. He actually won SoCal last year too.
I was gonna say,
that name sounds familiar. Yeah.
What about me?
Stormcast again.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
He's been trying some different things. He took Night Haunt to Old Town Throwdown.
Yeah.
But he's back to Stormcast, and I think it's like his jam.
Yeah.
So that's like his event right now. But I think the top 5 people were all from the SoCal United team down there.
What were like the top 5, like factions wise? What were like the top 5, or what was in the top 10?
Beast of Chaos. Matt Nguyen I think Matt Nguyen was up there, 3rd or 5th. I can't remember. Also, I will say the SoCal United guys gave me a shirt, which is very cool.
Oh, cool.
Left it in the hotel room, but it's being sent back.
Oh, nice.
So don't worry. Along with one of my buckwheat pillows. So, I so annoyed at myself for that. And thank you, SoCal folks, for the shirt. It was very nice.
So cool.
What else was up there? Roberto had Sylvaneth. It was everyone was different. I don't think there were really any repeats.
Yeah.
There's an Ogres up there. Chris Hernandez, a guy I know, played last SoCal. So really, big diversity at the top, up at the top 10. It was cool to see.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I love it. Very cool. We have a couple super chats, maybe.
Yes, we do have a couple super chats.
Sigmar-y stuff. Zachy stuff.
Liam Dempson says, notice in each and every picture, Zach looks happier than his opponent.
What's up with that?
Yeah, well,
You're funny with pictures.
sometimes they are surprised that I want to take a picture.
Yeah.
Because nobody does that.
Yeah.
So I think oftentimes they're kind of surprised.
Right.
You saw Dylan was pretty animated.
Yeah.
Dylan knows the deal. He knows us. I've known Dylan for a year now.
Exactly.
So he kind of knows the deal. Other people, you're really just like, hey, let's do this, right? But my first 2 games I lost, so those guys were definitely happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Liam.
Yeah, thank you, Liam. And the Chris TV says, just tuned in. First thing I hear is Zach talking about killing priests.
Oh God.
Yep,
It's another day.
There's a lot of murdering. I mean, that's what happens when you take a matriarchal murder cult to a game, to a tournament. Yeah. They're just like, hey, you know what's fun? You know what would be great? Let's go out murdering. That's what my army does. So murder is cool, right? Thank you, Prime Vino. Just want to say it was great to meet you all. Can't wait to see you guys at LVO. Maybe we'll get paired against each other. Triple Tantalus for the win.
Yes.
I did get to meet Vino.
Yeah, totally.
We all had you met him previously?
Yeah, at LVO.
I really didn't talk to him much there.
It's very, very busy. But Vino was there. Had a good time. Hopefully.
Yeah.
It was cool, kind of chatting with him. And awesome to see him there. So definitely some Emperors in chat for Vino, one of our mods. It was just awesome to see him come out.
Great mod. I was, it was very interesting. I was talking to Vino about modding.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, you know, when I was Vino's age, that wasn't really a thing you could do.
Sure, yeah.
You could at low-key things, like a forum.
Yeah.
Right, like when I was
that the main
Vino's
thing,
age,
right? Yeah.
right, like Daka existed.
Exactly.
I could have been a mod on Daka.
Right.
But I don't know that really gets me anything. And it's interesting to see modding is almost like this, it's like this cool thing that can go on a resume, right? You can, it shows leadership, it shows responsibility, and all of our mods are amazing. So it was cool to just hear about what it was like to mod, and we never really asked the mods like, hey, what's it like to mod? And I was kind of curious to hear about what he said. He said the community is nice, so it's easy.
Look, we couldn't do without them, honestly.
Yeah.
The Discord is bigger than all of us, so it's amazing to have people helping curate.
Very much. Thank you, Vino.
Yeah, appreciate it. So let's take a look at the 40K side of things.
Yeah.
Oh, a nice little sideways picture. So OBS does this thing where it doesn't actually straighten the pictures. You know, you can like rotate them, and then it's like, no, the original picture is taken like this. So, gosh, where should I even start?
Well, and then here's the thing though. Adrian could have gone in and rotate this picture, but then it rotates all the other pictures.
Right. Yeah. There's no way to have it just like consistent.
Yeah,
like,
you have to like
create a new image and then
you have to create a new
resave it.
image. Kat does this all the time. You have to create a new image and slightly like crop it,
Yeah.
and then you can get it.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Wait. Here's a real quick question.
Okay,
How
yeah.
old does Zach think I am? Vino's asking.
Oh, good
I
question.
kind of assume, I've kind of noticed that there's like me, and then everybody else is around the same age,
Yeah.
which is like your age.
Yeah.
Which is like just turned 30, about to turn 30.
Totally.
Or like, and then like, there's like one person in the middle. I
Do
forget
you
who.
think? Wait. Where do you think Vino is on this?
Vino's like you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's like 30
That'd be
or
my
28.
Yeah.
28, 30, or 31. 28 to 31. That's my guess for you, Vino.
Fair enough. So with these pictures being wonky, I'm just going to kind of start going through my experience. So Rotling Harlequins, my light Harlequins, may or may not be the last ride. I think they're still quite good.
You thinking about doing dark?
No, I'm not thinking about doing dark. I'm thinking about Twilight like most people these days.
Were you thinking about a yellow card on the way down? I might switch to dark. Or Twilight.
No way. Oh, it's so bad. No, it's yeah. So it was light, which meant I could move and shoot without penalty. And the move away strat is honestly one of the big things. That's a big part of my strategy. So round one, I pulled Emperor's Children. Funny enough, I played Mark, who's a local, and so it was really funny. We go all the way just to see that, of course. And it was a fun game. It is in many ways a tough matchup for the Emperor's Children because the Harlequins have the mobility. Frankly, I have to respect his mobility because there are ways that they can get.
They can just like, something can just
jump
go
forward.
Yeah,
They can auto 6 and advance and charge if they really want to and all that stuff.
It's like one of those armies where it's not army wide, but out of nowhere,
Yeah.
someone can do it. Yeah.
Exactly. But relatively straightforward for the Harlequins in this case. I played very, very cagey. Kind of traded when I needed to. Picked out everything on the flanks. Waited for the Lord Discordant to make his play, and then I lined up so much of my army to be able to shoot him. Like ton of boats, 2 units of Haywire.
Yeah.
Ready to charge if I need. First unit of Haywire bikes. Instant kills him. I've never had that happen. They just like popped off and killed him right away. I was like, huh.
It's a cool experience. You get that with Tau every
Yeah.
now and then. You're like, you line everything up, and the first
whoa.
thing does it. You're like, okay.
Okay.
Hey, how are Emperor's Children? Was he a little more shooty? Was he a little more combat?
So Emperor's Children mostly combat.
They can kind of go both. They can do it,
Yeah. So Noise Marine's pretty popular right now.
Yeah.
Blastmasters are amazing. Dune Sirens are decent. They're just like good squads.
That's the sergeant gun on the sergeant.
Yeah, it's a flamer with AP
Okay.
basically. But they're mostly AP. Mostly melee. They go one of two directions. They'll say, Terminator brick with a couple possessed, or they'll go possessed with, frankly, no Terminators, just lots of Noise Marines.
Okay.
And so Mark had the Terminator brick and unit of possessed, and a few like bespoke Noise Marine squads.
Yeah.
So it was a fun game, great opponent. We had a good time. Mark was a really good sport for ultimately what was a really tough matchup. So going into there, I had a 98 on the second round, and they actually were using battle points, I think, this event. It's kind of unclear.
Yeah.
Everyone was asking. And this game, I went up against Ulyss again, who I lost to a few weeks ago at the Santa Clara GT. And at the time, Ulyss had 40 flayed ones, and I just could not get through them. It was a really tough matchup for me. We had a great time, a great
That's
opponent.
a lot. Yeah.
This time he shows up with, and I knew he had a changed his list. 60 flayed ones.
Oh, so you're like, look at my odds here.
Yeah. Really fun game, lots of nitty gritty. I scored very well on my secondaries, but he was able to be very smart with his maneuvering of these just giant unkillable blocks of OBSEC and just dominate the primary. So he just did a really good job with that. This is one of my toughest matchups. I think, again, when I start messing around with Twilight, I'm going to have much more play into these big blocks. But as it is, like, my list is very surgical. And so it's pretty rough. Yeah, but super fun game, great opponent, had a good time.
I'm glad that something happened to you during this trip to make you consider which of the different types of Harlequin.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I didn't think that would happen.
I know.
I thought for sure you'd come back and be like, nope, I'm still like light.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, there's randomness in these games. So this one, I can't honestly tell if this is even the right picture. There we go.
There you go.
So third game of the day against Chaos Knights.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, cool, Chaos Knights. I'd much rather play them than Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights is always a very tight game, and I can very easily lose to them if things start going wrong. Chaos Knights don't have a lot of the things that I was worried about. The scoring is different, but I hadn't really played them in the tournament context. And I liked this list. It was one big knight, Megara, and everything else was War Dogs.
That's almost scary, huh?
It was super scary. This list shredded through me. I was losing stuff super fast. It was all Chaos Knight secondaries, so one of them is like, it's like reversed to the last. He picks your 3 most expensive units, and basically he gets points. The sooner he kills them, they're worth diminishing points as you go through. And so it was my 2 bike squads and my big troop squad, so I just stayed in the back with them. I hid them. I really wanted to use them. I'm so used to trading with them, but I kept them in the back, shooting knights when I could. I still ended up losing 1, almost 2, maybe 2. At the end of the game, but very close. I had very few things on the board. It was a really cool, intense game. It was, worthy challenge, people are saying. It was a cool game, and I was not expecting to pull it out, especially turn 3. I was like, I am in trouble. I'm going to run out of resources, but was able to just kind of chew through the War Dogs just fast enough that I could get things in the backfield. Solitaire was like the ball of this game. He dove in, fought War Dog, survived, killed it, jumped over, charged into another one. Solitaire was absolute MVP in this game. So that was the end of day 1. Let's see what we have next.
And you guys had 6 games. We just had 5 in Sigmar.
Yeah, we had 6, regardless. We stayed across the road at the Winner's Circle Resort, which was hilarious because it was basically, there's Meg.
There's Meg. Drinking from a Shamu.
Yeah.
This is at Ironside. She kept ordering all of the tiki drinks to get all the different glasses, and we ended up buying one, like a souvenir.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the easy way. Should have bought more drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Gosh, I hate this slideshow thing. Oh well. So we played a lot of Warhammer Magic.
Oh, fun.
Basically every night we went back to this place. And we went to the hot tub, which was great. Again, it was like a resort, but everyone besides us was over 50.
Sure.
And so everyone was like
that
asleep by 8
checks
p.m.
out. Yeah,
it was this really funny thing. I guess they're there for the horses or something. I don't know. But so we had hot tub, and then we played Commander Magic every night. So we're like, hey, you know what we should do after a day of 9 hours of Warhammer? Let's play Warhammer, but the card game version.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's very different. It's way more relaxing, right?
Totally.
Magic, you just kind of sit, you get through a few games quick.
Oh, not with us. We're like, yeah, well, just quick game. A little half an hour game, 40-minute game. We 2 or 3 hours later, we're like, we really need to go.
But you're
to bed.
playing multiple games.
No, one game.
What?
Because we're playing Commander.
Oh,
we're not really playing mean, so we're kind of circling the drain with everyone's life.
Oh, okay.
Just enjoying playing the Warhammer
That's
cards.
fun, though. That's a fun way to play, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So that was fun. And we had some nice dinners, got to hang out with people, some of the Zero Comp guys, so good time there. Day 2, my first matchup was against Sisters, which I have an infamous sort of relationship with because of Jesse. And Jesse still has the upper hand on me. I still have not beaten his Sisters list, but I have a lot of practice in the Sisters. So I played a different Jesse, local, and was able to pull out the win, frankly. I had to go first, which sucked. But I'm so practiced on that matchup that I knew kind of when to trade, when to not. Didn't have Celestine, which made me very, very happy. Didn't have Smash Canvas, which made me very, very happy. So it was just about playing KG, surviving on points, running away as soon as you got close enough. So, you know, it was definitely really tough for him. I think if you don't play the sisters right, it actually can be quite difficult.
That's tough for you. Things that die and come back and then get to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's rough for a fragile army.
And she can auto, you know, with the right miracle dice, guarantee movement super far away. She can guarantee charges even with my runaway. So not having to deal with that was amazing for me. Yeah. Round 5 went up against Chaos Demons. This is one of the 0 comp guys, and this is actually the guy that I lost to last year at SoCal. My only loss. He was playing Admech, I was playing Orks. This time he was playing Demons, I was playing Harlequins. And it was 3 big demons. It was Be'lakor, Scarbrand, Bloodthirster. 3 units of Flamers, of course. A bunch of Bloodletters. And I was just being super cagey, screening everything out. Bikes were not going to be useful, so I just screened them out. Dealing with the Flamers actually pretty handily between like the Death Jester, just a ton of Shuriken Cannons. And
just like, shooting.
Yeah, and then also Mortals.
You're right.
Because he was trying to get into my lines, I was screening out. And so I would just like run up and just like mortal, get them to death. He comes down, Scarbrand has a 6-inch charge, fails it. Bloodletters have a 5-inch charge, rerolls it, fails it.
What?
Other Bloodletters have a 6-inch 3d6 charge, fail it.
What?
So he's just sitting there in the middle, and we're like, oh my god. And he was a super good sport about it. He's like, that's all right, you know, that's the game that happens. I'm like, wow.
Well, rough.
So I countercharge and I kill everything. He's got like just the greater demons and like 2 flamers. And I'm like making this play, I'm like, I got this. I come around the side, and I run the transport into the flamer, soak up Overwatch. I survived by some miracle. Didn't really need to survive.
That can happen,
Overwatch.
right?
Yeah.
That can random, yeah.
So I just charge and I just push the model in, not thinking. I go to do my other charges, and I'm looking back, and I'm like, the Bloodthirster is within 3 inches of the void of the Starweaver. He's gonna heroic intervene.
Yeah.
And he goes to do it, and I was like, yep, well played.
Yep.
And so Bloodthirster fights, kill the Starweaver, piles in or consolidates into the troops, and he does mortal wounds at the end of the fight phase. Oh. Kills the troops.
Interesting.
So because I was clumsy with my pile in, he sweeps the leg, kills everything in the back, and I lose like this huge amount of points.
Yeah.
It was an 89 to 80 point loss. And so I was just like, it's not often that I know exactly the moment that I lost the game.
But
that was it.
Yeah.
So well played, awesome opponent, super fun. And then last game was against Space Wolves. We've been watching him kind of rise through the ranks. He was like undefeated on the first day. We're like, Space Wolves, go!
Yeah. And then you got to play him. That's fun.
And then I got to play him because, we both, run into nasty things. It was a super fun game, super nice guy. But I got to say, we played on an airbase. I got to pick the terrain, so I picked the L. He had the big stupid box. And it was just a bash in the middle. But between that and my shooting, the Harlequins just kind of went out.
Yeah.
He had Wolfen, which was awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
But you know what the perfect weapon to go into Wolfen is? Shuriken Cannon.
2 damage.
Because they basically just get 4-ups either way. It's like 4-up invulns, but it's a 4-up. And they're 2 wounds. Right. I don't know why they're not 3 wounds. And so they just kind of melted. Yeah. But, again, super good sport. Had a great time. It was cool seeing Space Wolves. So 3-2, 1 definite loss.
4-2.
4-2, that's right. I played all 6 games. 1 definite loss, 1 close loss, and, bunch of good games. So I had a great time. It was awesome. No regrets. And with that is SoCal. We've spent a lot of time. We actually don't have a ton of time left for the rest of these topics. So let's be brief about this next one. This is... Yeah, let's be brief because I don't want to cut it off.
Okay.
I want to talk about, of course...
I love it.
The Grognard Grumble of the day. This is display boards for best paint. This is something we discussed. Pros, cons. I mean, display boards are cool. It's an additional way to kind of show your creativity. But it does kind of hurt people to have to travel. Yeah. I think that's the biggest grumble we have with it.
That's the biggest thing. It really, it bumps... You can say like, oh, that person's army wasn't painted as well, but they had a really cool, awesome, loud display board with lights. And a lot of people will be like, oh, that's not cool. That's not painting. For me, I don't care about that.
That's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
Yeah.
If they made an awesome display board, like to win Best Painted, not only do you have to be technically awesome, you also have to grab attention. Yeah. That's to just say I just want to be technically awesome. Yeah. Then you need to go enter painting competitions, and they have those. Not at SoCal, but they have those at right. Yeah. But to win Best Painted Army, you need not only good technically painted, but also attention grabbing.
Yes.
Display boards help with that, and that part of display boards I'm cool with.
Yeah.
But like for example, I couldn't take a display board to Nova.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to fly with a display board. So it does tend to help fit locals, win out those things, or people that can drive.
Yeah,
we do drive to SoCal, so we can take one down
Yeah,
there.
so it's not, to be clear, it's not like, oh, we wish we could do it.
Yeah.
No, it's a weird thing. It does hurt people that are not local. And I think it's cool, but it's one of those things that I kind of wish they would just not use for these events.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say, the past 3 events I've been to have had 2 different ways of dealing with display boards that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
So at Old Town Throwdown,
Okay.
they simply were not part of it. You could not, you actively couldn't use a display board.
Nice.
You had to set it off to the side. Nova and SoCal did it in an even more interesting way that I really think is great. They give, and this actually benefits people like me for a number of ways. They give you the potential to earn 40 points, but they cap your scoring at 30.
Oh.
And the points are like 1 or 2 points on different things.
Yeah.
And a display board is one of them.
Oh.
And another one, for example, is conversions. Like in my Daughters of Cain army, I have one High Gladiatrix that's like converted from a model.
Yeah.
Literally, I just put hair on
Totally.
Sister of Slaughter from the Underworlds box. So I don't really do heavy conversions.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think I should be penalized for that if my army looks otherwise awesome. So I like this system. It says here's 40 points you can earn, but you're only going to get 30 of them.
Yeah. And
And then they take the people who top out, and then they put those people in the showcase. At that point, how they then deal with the display board has been kind of different. There it then gets a little different because usually then it's a vote.
Yeah.
People go and vote, and probably they are going to vote for the display board army.
Yep.
But I was in the top 5 showcase here at SoCal, at not at Nova, but at Old Town and at BAO, and I've never won Best Paint at any of them, and it might be because of the display board. So I like the system. If you want to try to win Best Painted, you currently need a display board, and
it's a bummer, I think.
yeah, it is sort of
It's all about accessibility, right?
Yeah,
So you know what? It's a small grumble, but it's a grumble.
it is a grumble. Yeah.
But you know what else it's time for?
Oh yay.
Woo! That's right, everybody. It's time for Hot or Grot. Today's topic, of course, is the concept of when companies do redesigns or do new models. Do you guys prefer them to have new models, new lines of models, or redesign old classics? And of course, today we're thinking especially about things like Guard.
Yeah.
We just had, of course, you can see down there in the little image, the unveiling of the Rogel Dorn, which I have an image here, which in many ways is just a bigger, maybe better Lehman Russ tank.
Sorry, Rogel. This is gonna sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
He is a Primarch.
Yes. And Lehman Russ is also a Primarch.
Okay.
Which I love that they've done this.
And the Rogel Dorn is him in a tank.
Not quite.
No, what is this then?
Oh, you haven't seen this?
I did, but like,
It's
this
just the new
tank
Guard
is called a Rogel Dorn.
It's just called a Rogel Dorn.
Oh, I was like, I expected a little bit more out of a Primarch model, but then I was also actually that's really cool. If one Primarch was gonna hop in a tank, it probably would be Rogel Dorn.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is kind of cool. I just thought the tank would be yellow.
Yeah, you're like, I'm shocked. I love it. So yeah, this is very much feeling like a new Lehman Russ. This for me is the most conflicted one for me because I feel kind of, I'm not sure how I feel about this, to be honest. Kind of like up front, I don't have a particular leaning one way or the other.
Yeah.
Because Lehman Russ is so classic, and so many Guard players have like 9 of them, right? Now, it looks like Lehman Russ will still be a thing, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Another example that's maybe a little bit different, but these new Khazarkin I think are interesting because we just got new
these guys are
Khazarkin
cool. Yeah.
right in this box right here. Thank you, Games Workshop. They look awesome. We of course have the old ones there, and we also, a few years ago now had the Militarum, the Scions, and at the time, people can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, the Kill Team ones that came out.
No,
the plastic.
all the Scions.
When the plastic, yeah.
At the time, I was like, oh, maybe they're not going to be doing Khazarkin because these felt very, very
They are
similar to
similar.
Khazarkin.
Yeah, they are, right.
And the new Khazarkin feel like they're in a different direction. So at the time, this felt like they were going in a different direction, just going to kind of phase out the Khazarkin. So it's like a wholly different unit rather than redesigning them. But they now, in this case, have also redesigned them. So, yeah, I'm just curious what people think. I'm curious what you think, Zach.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put up the hot or grot, but I'm curious on your thoughts, you know?
It's interesting, you want to... GW has done this thing recently where they have almost like... You feel like they've released models or units that kind of like nobody was asking for.
Right.
Rather than go back and address something that people really wanted a new one of, right? Or like a plastic. So, for example, when a Suryani came out, Shroud Runners, super cool, right? And they know they have cool ideas. And these new models are cool. But it was like everybody wanted these different plastic, anything, you name it. Striking Scorpions, right? Who are the jumpy guys? Warp Spiders. Like, we're like, are they going to just make a whole new unit for a Suryani? Or will they take those resources and devote it to making a plastic Warp Spider kit? Or a plastic Fire Dragon kit? Or a kit that can be Fire Dragons or like 2 or 3 other things, right?
Exactly.
And you're like, it's that meme where like literally no one, and then like GW. They've done that so much recently. The Ogres recently, like the Blood Pelt Hunter, who they've shown, the new guy. Like, there's like, how about a plastic Butcher? How about a plastic Slaughtermaster? Right? There is a plastic Tyrant, but it's just like, okay, like, okay, now we have more models. It's cool. Kind of hate the existing metal or fine cast Butcher, but okay.
It's interesting to see what the priorities are, because the Eldar line was a similar one. We discussed it at length. Like, wouldn't do this kit again, but I would rather this kit have an update. This one's like the Guardians were already plastic, and we have fine cast. So that one they ended up not creating. Well, they did the Corsairs. Other than that, they didn't really do any other units. That it was like
Avatar.
Yeah, but he was not a new unit. He just redesigned.
No, new.
Right?
Redesign, which
was
great.
Stuck with that, which I think is right.
They did. Yeah.
This one, I don't know. I like the Rogaldorn, but no, I'll say this. No, I'm so conflicted. I don't know how I feel about it.
I know, right?
Because I'm like, on one hand, cool, Legion Rush is good. Let's not phase it out. Let's make a new one. But then everyone who has the old one might feel lame. But is it lamer to have like? And how much does the rules impact it?
I hate to say this, and I know this might sound a little elitist, and I apologize in advance if it does, but I think if you have the old model and GW makes a new, cooler one, and the size is different, blah, 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 I think that's okay. Like, you can't, I would not want to stifle their creativity and say, hey, like, we think the Avatar was a little small, we didn't love him, so, but, we'll feel bad if we make a big, cool new one for all the... You can find a use for your old Avatar, and you can still use your old Avatar. Make like a cool dioramic base. Like, use the new base size, and he might look a little small in there. So don't just like plop him in the middle. Use some pink foam. Make it a hobby project. Go to a little rock, and he's on the side. I guess part of me, Adrian, really wants to see them redo a lot. There's so much. If we could all go through here together, we won't. It'll take forever.
Right.
We could all go through here together and make a list of things we want to see cool new plastic versions of.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a good different episode, frankly.
It does. It does, right? But meanwhile, none of us would ever go through and be like, very few, like, I want to see a plastic Mournfang ogre chief guy. Like a leader.
Exactly.
Right? I can think of that, right? But the Blood Pelt Hunter is cool. So you need them to do both. I hate to.
No, I get it.
I hate to do that with Hot or Grot.
But I also, I mean,
I hate to treat Hot or Grot that way.
I'm so like medium right now, and I think, look, the vote is literally split right now, 50-50.
Yeah.
And I'm really not sure how to feel about it. Lost my train of thought. But we do have a super chat about this.
Oh yeah, we do. I did see one come in here from. Up. Here it is from the Chris TV. Thanks again, the Chris TV. Big supporter of the show. Replace dated models and add new models too. Well, Chris, if that's your opinion on it, you're going to like everything we literally both just said and what the poll is.
Yeah.
Because, yes, we agree with that. Like, we really just want GW to make more models. Like, faster. Right? That's really what we want.
That's
just
really what
make
it
more
is.
things faster. So we can consume them more.
Yeah.
We really just want
more of everything.
Consumerism to
let us buy
more consumerism, right?
Yeah, and I think with that we're going to be closing up the poll. Get your final votes in. but we are super torn about it. And I think for me, it's on a per case basis. Oh, it's a little bit hot.
It's a little bit hot.
It's a little 3, 2,
It's a close.
1. All right, it's a little hot,
Yeah.
which I think is where I'm at. But basically, we're pretty much split, dead even. That's entirely fair. Look, I think we're all in the like it's on a per basis thing. So that is Hotter Grot. Lots of new exciting stuff coming out, and lots of discussion to be had around it. Before we close it up, any super chats? We're all caught up.
I think we're caught up.
Most excellent. Look, it's been a fantastic, good talk. Zach, thank you for.
Yeah,
being
we're
my
caught
amazing
up.
Co-host.
Sorry, we're caught up. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You're
Adrian.
good. You're good. Of course, if you do want to see more of this content, do consider liking and subscribing. And also, if you want to see some more discussions, stick around because we're going to be going on a little field trip to Mr. Liam Dempsey, who's about to start his talk show. Everyone hop on the bus. We're going to take you on a journey to Liam's. And also, let us know in the comments below what you thought are the things you want to discuss. What are your opinions? Even if you're not watching this live, let us know if you think this is hot, grot, and what you think about display boards. Next week, we've got some exciting stuff for you. I won't spoil it, but it's going to be pretty cool stuff. So thank you everyone so much for joining us. Zach, thank you as always. This has been The Good Talk. Bye.